I think that once we actually got into the process of making music and it became more hands-on and more tangible and having a lot of like big name guest artists come, I think all of that got them more excited, got them to take it more seriously.
Yeah, I think once we got into the studio, that was the turning point because now we had this common goal.
Like recording and also like working on this mixtape, I feel like they tend to like treat us as more of a friend as opposed to like a visitor.
Okay, we have to make this track and put all these ideas and brainstorm. Once you have that common goal, you start to have less barriers, I think.
Of course, when we were collaborating, when we first initially started it, we were new to each other. I didn't really know Juan that well. I didn't know Ashley that well, but I mean, once you start collaborating on something creatively like that and throwing in ideas and kind of, taking each other's opinion, into consideration, I mean, it definitely brings you closer.
There's just something about hands-on experience that really sometimes often better for learning.
In terms of like actual struggles, I mean, I'm sure there was things I couldn't, relate with them in terms of what they've been through. But again, we had that common experience. We had that thing in common, and that was, being able, whatever we were going through, we were able to express it and put it in written form, and it was therapeutic.
I often wonder what could happen when your life slipping through the cracks. Do the universe transform, or do they do you like Gandolfini and you just fade to black? But man, never that. Gotta keep it moving, gotta keep on striving, gotta keep my hope up.
Basically, we started with the beat first. We kind of just started with the simple drum loops, and then we just kind of added layer by layer on top of that, and then
that's the cool thing of making music in that way in the process, because you can have one layer and that takes you somewhere else. So that's the fun part. You can work in layers. So we had that beat pattern, and then we add the bass, and then Daniel just had this idea of adding those two notes we had. Yeah, and I don't know. It was so simple.
The topic of the song kind of revolved around that beat. So whatever we felt the beat was telling us, we kind of just went off that. Ashley and I, we kind of just went with our intuition.
Well, that's when I was just there listening to that beat, and I was like, oh, okay, I feel it.
I think she came up with the chorus first. This is our life.
It was like, this is our life, this is how we survive. And that's how I came up with that, and the guys loved it.
This is our life, this how we survive. This is all life, love it or hate it, we still here strong, so we made it. This is our life, this how we survive.
And then from there, it's kind of just, that's sort of like the heading of the paper, that's the theme we're gonna write under. This is our life. And from there, we just wrote our individual verses and kind of put it together, and yeah, I think it came out well,
As a team, we all worked with each other. Like, we was like, okay, Juan, can you do this? So this could sound right when we say this. Or then we'd be like, okay, I feel you, Daniel, but I want you to, really hit that. And they'll be like, okay, Ashley, hey, now you got it. We was all working out with each other. It wasn't like somebody was doing this and somebody was doing that. We all, helped each other out.
I take the beat and then I body it. Ashley on the hook, Juan chop the beat like Karate Kids. Born a king, but was
I mean, her spoken word part, my verses, I definitely think they blended well. I mean, just for the simple fact that, we're just both talking about personal struggles we were going through.
Throw your hands up, one love.
He said it right, life was rough growing up. As a girl that steady told me I was never enough. Started arguing with my guardian. Soon enough, getting hit, shit got worse.
I wasn't nervous because I've been in the studio before, but it was just hearing Daniel, and I'm like, whoa, he goes really hard. I need him in my life again.
I mean, it was just I remembered, very therapeutic to say those words out loud and and saying with conviction over a beat. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And then being there to see Ashley do it, I mean, that was awesome too. It's always awesome to see someone go through that same creative process and kind of feel that power in saying it out loud and saying your words.
And it was just like crazy. It was like a fun experience. I love my guys.
She enjoyed it. She seemed to enjoy, that whole process. And it was just cool to see it for myself. And it was cool to cheer her on. Me and Juan were cheering her on while we were in the studio. And
we had a great time. And I miss them so dearly because it was like fun.
It was just, it was really nice.
Fighting the battle that we got to fight. You know what I'm saying?
This is all life. This how we survive.
This is all life. Love it or hate it, we still here strong. So you know we made it.
This is all life. This how we survive.
Yeah, we living tough, but we never giving up. If you feel it, throw your hands up. One love.
This is all life. This how we survive.
This is all life. Love it or hate it, we still here strong. So you know we made it.
This is all life. This how we survive.
Yeah, we living tough, but we never giving up. If you feel it, throw your hands up. One love.
Well, I remember like the first day that I sat next to like Marshayla, like I thought that she was older than what she really was, and I think we maybe like vibed on that, is that we were just both like, we're both just kind of more like laid back, and then we just started talking about favorite artists, and we found a lot of artists that we had in common. That
Jennifer
we
had just like came and we had already made the beat, me and Jedediah. Well, he mainly did like the keys and like the synths and everything.
We just kind of jumped in. Marshayla, she plays keyboards on her own and like creatively, like the way I never did, where my background was all like formal and whatnot. So.
And it was nice working with him because I didn't really expect that out of him. Like, he was really dope at keys. Like, he better than me. Like, I'm not really that raw at keys, but he was really dope. And
I just laid down the foundational bass line on the keyboard, a few strings on top, some synth here and there, and then she put the rest of it together.
I mostly just added like bass and claps and stuff because like I just had like, I feel like we mixed New York with the Bay, just based on like the bass I used and
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to just make a song that sounds entirely like New York because that's not exactly where we are.
We use a simple cash was everything around me, cream get the money, dollar bills, y'all.
Making money, mucho dinero, play no games like Sean, cause my bank is large and my dreams are tall, trying to make it out the rich with a New York beat that's ridiculous, and this flow is continuous.
And that was your first time rapping, right?
Yeah, in the studio.
So what was that like? What made you rap in this program when you hadn't rapped before?
I like the beat. I mean, I could have just, made the beat and then let them do it. But, I wanted to be a part of it because, it was one-time experience and we could collab. So.
And someone convinced me, I don't even remember how or who, to actually rap. I certainly was expecting that coming in. I know I had musical experience.
I wrote this verse on the back of a shopping list. Long days, short nights, did you get the gist? I make money, but it ain't funny. Working from 7 to 11 in no land of milk and honey. Alright, okay, just like the voice say. Riding high in April, you get shot down in May. Hey, JJ Bay, getting paid, I'ma be like Pharaoh. Someday, mucho dinero. Cash rules everything around me. JJ Baby on the mic, it was all a dream.
I went in super skeptical about writing a verse. I didn't want to, I didn't want to do it because I'm not a rapper. I'm not musically inclined, I guess. But I felt like if we were going to incorporate, if we were going to incorporate Spanish, we needed to incorporate more than just mucho dinero, right? Than just the hook part. I'll write it in Spanish, one, so that the song can have more Spanish than just the hook to make it catchy, right? Like to actually like say something. And then also if I do it in Spanish, a lot of people won't understand me, right? They won't understand what I'm saying. They won't understand like, you know, like maybe what I'm like signifying on, right? And it'll make it easier for me to like say something that was more, you know, maybe more real.
El que me oiga, sepa que soy Tita, ¿eh? Estoy aquí en la área Bahía, ma. Estudiando para cosechar puro verde dinero, si me entiendes, huh? El sistema le cerró las puertas a mi barrio, San Mateo, teniendo hijos para lograr sueño americano, o sea, mucho dinero, yeah. And I'm getting money, I just thought you should know. Ra, dollar, dollar bill, y'all.
And I rap in Mandarin Chinese in the song, which is a really good experience for me, because like incorporating Chinese culture into American culture just feels really dope.
我是青青，这是我的两个朋友。今天是个星期六，我们来到这个 party dancing。
My Yusha, like the girl I work with, she inspired me a lot.
Vanessa was actually pretty good. I knew I learned some Mandarin off of her rap because I know some of it already. I didn't want to rap, but then I was like, everybody else is rapping, so I had to rap too. I was like, all right, let me try to come up with something. And then what popped up into my head was people or boys who think they can talk to any girl and get her and stuff like that. So we made something up and it gets. I'ma show you how to move to the beat.
Hey, my name, my ocean, I'm pretty sick. I don't know what to do, but I do it quick. You saw me in the club doing all kind of tricks, but ain't no thought, so you got me pretty tripped.
And I felt comfortable around everyone. And yeah, there was a lot of people in the studio at the time, but we were all kind of comfortable with each other because we had been with each other for like, you know, a couple of weeks now. So it was just like, you know, get in, do what I got to do, and get out.
Did you feel like supported by your team?
Yeah. Especially like when I was done, I only had to do it twice. So the second time everybody had like, you know, they was like, Marcella, you did so good, and this and that. I was like, thank you.